Microform collections are sets of bibliographic records that relate to collections of material on microform held within Australian libraries. The records are for individual items within those collections. There are now over 50 microform collections represented in the AMBD. As a part of this service, Library Australia staff will add your holdings to each microform collection set in your order. Both electronic and microform collection sets are available via order forms in Libraries Australia administration. Customised files are a bit more complicated. Customised files are the fun bit for our product staff. With a customised file, we can provide you with a file of records based on whatever combination of criteria is available in Libraries Australia search, allowing a great deal of flexibility. Unlike bibliographic and titles lists, this service is not tied to having your holdings attached to the records. For example, you could request a search to provide one-off file of all records in the AMBD where the language of the item is Hebrew, or were published in Papua New Guinea in 2007. A lot of libraries use this service to run weekly or monthly acquisition files, looking for new titles added to the AMBD in their areas of interest. The advantage of running a customised acquisition search through our product service is that you automatically obtain the full MARC records ready for loading into your local catalogue as soon as those records have become available in the AMBD. Another option within the customised format is for the supply of a number load file. This is where you supply us with a list of ANs, ISBNs or ISSNs, and we supply you the matching records in your chosen format. With customised products, you also have more options in regard to the format of the records. You can request that they be sent in Mark 8, Unicode, Mark XML, text, labelled and non-labelled, and delimited formats. You can also choose which field tags to include. For example, you may only want the 001s, 245s and 850s in a plain text format. A more extreme example of usage for a customised file could be for a library undergoing migration to a new local LMS. If the library experiences difficulty in effecting data migration between the old and new systems, they could instead request a full MARC product of all records in the AMBD with their holdings attached to load straight to the new LMS. No migration necessary. Of course, this would require your holdings in the AMBD to be up to date to be effective. Here is a real-life example of a customised product. This is a product looking for Australian or New Zealand publications, published after 2004, that are monographs in English with pre-publication cataloguing level. They are not electronic publications or theses or continuing resources. They are not printed or manuscript music, not a cartographic material, not musical sound recording, not a 2D picture or a photo, not a 3D object, and not Braille. And that were added to the AMBD between the 3rd of the 8th 08 and the 10th of the 8th 08. Roughly, you could say they're looking for Australian or New Zealand printed books that are just about to be released. This is a great example of the kind of complexity we can build into a customised product. Here's another one. This one is looking for fiction and non-fiction language monographs, books, written by a specific list of authors published between 2000 and 2006 that are not in microform. Here are some examples of the way that product files have been used by our customers. Overlap studies. We can compare your collection to your affiliated libraries or institutions to see where there is an overlap of the collection or if there are gaps. Renewing or refreshing a local catalogue, updating the records in your local system with a file of records from the AMBD. A new local system, as mentioned before, getting a new local system that requires records in a different format or encoding from the old system. One library replaced records that had lost certain fields using records downloaded via products from the AMBD. Another library lost its entire catalogue, it was corrupted, and used a file from the AMBD to recover their records, effectively using Libraries Australia as a backup to their local system. Acquisitions. Getting a title list of new records on the AMBD fulfilling certain criteria to check for items to be purchased or claimed via legal deposit. And purchasing a formed collection of material acquiring the records from AMBD. Checking what subject areas your collection covers and where there are gaps. Getting title lists or bar-delimited files of records to check against your local system records or against the physical collection. One library switched its classification system from DDC to LC using Libraries Australia products. Subject headings, updating headings that have been changed or replacing a local thesaurus with headings used in the AMBD, and updating your local authorities. And it continues. Moving a collection from one place to another and using a list of records downloaded from the AMBD as a shipping manifest. Getting records created by specific bibliographic record suppliers in separate files. Items published by a certain publisher in a certain date range with specific subject heading or by a specific order. Getting a report of the number of records added in a particular financial year. What serials are held at a particular institutional branch. We also provide files for serials in Australian libraries, among others. Files of government publications at a particular level or from a particular department. A list of printed music on the AMBD, and a list of items coded as being published in an obscure language. I couldn't even pronounce the language for that one. Requesting a product is done via Libraries Australia administration, as I mentioned. You may need to request Products Manager within Libraries Australia administration. You can contact the help desk to do this. If you can only see the About link under the Products tab, you know you need to do this. Once Products Manager access has been set up, it's simply a matter of logging into Libraries Australia administration, going to the Products tab, click on the order form link and select the appropriate order form. Complete it and submit it. If you would like a product staff member to contact you, you simply add a comment at the bottom of the form, or alternatively you can email or phone the help desk or contact us via the online form under the Contact Us section of the Libraries Australia website. There are charges. For libraries, there is a one-off charge for setting up a regular product of $58.50. This includes the first 2,000 records free. There is then a charge ranging between 9 and 30 cents for records over that 2,000 for every run of the product. Customised extractions are charged $58.50 for each extraction, plus the record charges after the first 2,000 records. Titles list non-marked files only attract a charge of $58.50. There is no per record charge. Commercial customers will need to negotiate a price with Libraries Australia staff. More details of any charges can be found on the Libraries Australia website under the charging schedule. E-collections and authorities include quarterly update, and the fee is annual. Special products such as overlap studies or specialised extractions are by negotiation, so please contact the Libraries Australia help desk. When you consider that the cost of original cataloguing was estimated at over $60 per item some years ago, with some studies finding it to be even higher than that, I'm sure you'll agree that Libraries Australia product can be really good value for money. Does anyone have any questions? No? All stunned in silence? Okay, just a quick recap. Use Record Export Service if you want to be able to collect files up to 6 times a day. You want the files to be automatically batched up. You want changes to your holdings or records with your holdings on them to be automatically triggered for downloading, or you want to be able to change the triggers for downloading or the download schedule yourself. Use products if you want to obtain records that don't necessarily have your holdings on them. You want a file of records without needing to trigger them individually. You have a more complicated inquiry, or you want records in a format other than MARC. If you want to discuss these further, you can catch up with me today, or you can contact us via the Libraries Australia help desk. I'll now hand over to Ian.